Hello everyone! If you're like me, a few things are true. You need a haircut, you need a shave, and most importantly, you like superheroes, and you are very disappointed in how the genre has been treated by both the video game and movie industry in recent years. And by the way, it's 2025 as I am recording this, so it's December, so we're basically going right into 2026. And for over a decade now, we have generally not gotten great superhero content in movies and video games, whatever, superhero properties. But I'm Mike, and this is Mike's After Action Reviews, and this is the Rapid Action Review for Dispatch. Alright guys, so as always, this is a rapid action review, and we're going to be skipping over some of the things that actually quite a few of the things that we usually cover in the after action review, so if you'd like more detailed reviews, go check out the after action reviews. And I will also be heavily relying on my notes to keep me on track and make sure that this video is shorter than it usually is, because I'm pretty good at pepper in the gumbo, but of course that makes things last a whole lot longer. So, starting off with the game's production. Dispatch was developed and published by Ad Hoc Studios with the music by Andrew Arcady and Skylar Bartow. The game was released in an episodic format with 2 episodes launching each week starting October 22nd, 2025. So, as far as the game's story, Dispatch is an episodic superhero-themed adventure and management game. You play as Robert Robinson III, better known as the former superhero Mecha Man. Early in the story, Mecha Man's power suit is basically right in the beginning. Mecha Man's power suit is destroyed in a showdown with his rival Shroud. This is an ex-superhero who is basically the guy that he was in a superhero team with your father and then went rogue and killed him. That opening encounter takes Mecha Man out of the field and sets up the premise for the entire game. With your abilities gone and your life kind of falling apart, and no spoilers, but you'll see, the Superhero Dispatch Network, or SDN, steps in with an offer. In exchange for joining their organization and helping coordinate and manage a team of reformed villain heroes, they'll help you rebuild your suit and eventually bring Shroud to justice. From there, the narrative follows your choices as you juggle missions, maintain fragile trust between your team members, and try to keep the city from falling into chaos, all while working towards your eventual confrontation with the man who took everything from you. The mixture of personal stakes, workplace drama, and superhero politics creates a surprisingly fresh dynamic. You're not the one punching villains in the streets. Instead, you're the strategist behind the scenes, making the hard calls and ensuring the success of missions, so that way they don't spiral out of control. So, then moving into my final statement and review score, we're going to start with sustains. My first sustain is that the dialogue is consistently sharp and engaging. Characters feel lively, flawed, and fun. And the writing leans into a mix of humor, tension, and emotional vulnerability. It's easy to get attached to the squad because their personalities feel distinct, real, and they basically don't become stereotypical caricatures within the narrative. My second sustain is the voiced cast. So it delivers standout performances here. We've got Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, Jeffrey Wright from the Batman and the Hunger Games movie series, and we've got Matthew Mercer, who, if you don't know, he's done Critical Role and a bunch of other voice acting stuff. And go check out the Critical Role YouTube channel. They play Dungeons and Dragons. It's really, really cool. You should definitely go see that stuff, and the whole cast is really great. And even the other cast members I'm not mentioning, these are just the most famous ones. They're all really great. My third sustain is the gameplay, especially in a narrative-driven title like this. It's genuinely fun. If you don't know, Ad Hoc Studios is, they do the Telltale games. They've helped with The Wolf Among Us. They were doing The Wolf Among Us 2, but then something happened and they kind of handed that off. But anyway, they make those types of games, which this is also kind of like that, episodic and choices matter and everything. So, but even though this is not an action game, and it is in that genre of Telltale-like games, the dispatcher system gives you plenty of fun gameplay to play through. It is streamlined without feeling shallow. Character progression is satisfying. The police dispatch style management system works surprisingly well. When I played the demo, I immediately when playing the demo, after playing the demo, I was like, yep, we're reviewing this. This is gonna be good. So, and then the most important thing, and what is best of all, and it kind of leans back into the kind of the dialogue and the voice cast, because the characters talk to you while you're playing. Like, they do little dialogue where they talk amongst each other and make little jokes and comments while you're actually managing them. Is that you get to command a squad of heroes with genuinely cool, varied powers and abilities. Each hero brings something unique to the table, and it makes the team composition fun to experiment with as the season progresses. And it's not like in the movie The Thunderbolts, Yelena says, well, what, we all just punch and shoot? Yeah, it's not like that. They have a system where you have to you don't have to, but you can do synergies where the different powers and personalities of the characters actually give you bonuses when they work together on a mission. It's pretty cool. Go check out the game. Go check out the game, guys. They do pretty good. Okay, and then let's move on to my improves. So my first improve is, guys, let Mecha Man. I wish that they would have let Mecha Man become a playable hero in the dispatch missions. It would add a lot of emotional payoff. The suit gets rebuilt, and then you send Mecha Man back into the field and manage him directly during missions. Totally would have been awesome. The game sets up that fantasy. In the beginning of the game, you do those QTE-like events. They're not exactly QTE events. They're the ones where you actually have to, like, you click and drag, and you click and move the thing like this, and kind of like, again, the Telltale games. But then you have the fall. It would be cool to have the rebuilding and the comeback. And giving players control of Mecha Man in actual gameplay would kind of complete that whole arc for the players, personally, very, very well. Maybe for the next game, guys. Fingers crossed, okay? And then my second improve is more of a suggestion than an improve. I'm not really... this doesn't affect my review score exactly, because I can't review things that aren't there, but what I think they should do is add a dedicated strategy mode or a full spin-off game. This is more of a suggestion, like I said, but Dispatch's systems are strong enough to support something like this. A game mode or even a standalone title that plays like a superhero version of something like XCOM could be incredibly compelling. Imagine a fully tactical missions where you dispatch your team from HQ, handle mid-mission events in crisis, and then take direct control once they reach the destination. That could really work, even if they didn't do where you actually like XCOM, dropping your team in and then taking direct control of them, but instead just managing them like you do in this game, where you're sending them out, and then maybe there's little things that it asks you, how do you want us to handle this, and then it tells you whether they're successful or not. Even if it's just that would be fine. But a game mode or a spin-off where it's like a 20-hour game, maybe 10 to 20-hour game, and it's just you doing that would be pretty cool. Or maybe an endless mode where you can just continually be doing that and keeping with character progression and different things, maybe picking different heroes and cool stuff like that. So those are my sustains and improves. So let's move on to my final review score. Dispatch is a true choice-based, narrative-driven game blended with simple, well-made, and very fun management game mechanics, all taking place in a superhero universe. The mix of personal stakes, workplace drama, and evolving bonds within the team creates a surprisingly fresh dynamic. You are not the one punching villains in the streets, like I said before, but you are the strategist behind the scenes. The game succeeds at making you feel like the brain behind the superhero operation and the leader of the team, something like a less secretive and serious Nick Fury. I believe that there is a real opportunity here for Ad Hoc Studios to take this and develop it into a really cool franchise if they do it right, okay? Especially with those spin-off suggestions that I made earlier. It does not so the game does not just tell a compelling superhero story. It delivers on everything that an episodic narrative game should be. It's fun, it's engaging, and it leaves you wanting more. And when an episode ends, you can't wait to get to the next episode because you will genuinely want to know what happens in the story. Kind of like a really good season of a really good show. For what it aims to do, it executes beautifully, and it kind of sets itself up as a template for games like this moving forward. And because of that, guys, I got to give it 2 thumbs way up. Excellent. I really enjoyed the game. Go check it out on Steam, and you can't go wrong with a $30 price tag. That's all I've got for you today, guys. I want to thank you all for watching and just say, God bless you all, and have a good day. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch and join the Discord where you can voice chat with me while I live stream, and you won't be recorded or anything on YouTube and Twitch, so that's pretty cool. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. If you like to read, you can see my after action reports on my blog. And if you are interested, you can get some merch from my spring store. The links for everything are in the description below.